So me say one thing, none see if you understand.
So, this video is probably going to be very long and drawn out. And I'm going to try to keep my thoughts in like a cohesive order. But I'm going to be honest, it's going to be a lot. So, by the title, you can tell what the topic of today's video is going to be on. And one thing's for certain, I just want to start this video by saying like the biggest demise or like the biggest like contribution to like unhappiness, I think, is just like thinking that you're alone in a situation, or like you're the only one who's experiencing this, or you're like one out of 2 people in the world who's ever gone through something that you're going through. And that is like the biggest lie that we could ever tell ourselves, because out of so many people in the world, like how big of your problem do you believe that you're the only person going through it? So I just wanted to start out by saying you're not the only one. Alright, so I got a text message from my friend today, Atavia. And she actually has a YouTube channel, so shout out to her. Señorita Bonita is her YouTube channel. And I'll put it on the screen somewhere. So she texted me today. I haven't really talked to her in like a minute, and we both went to Famu, and she texted me today, and it was literally on a topic that I was like, I want to upload this, but I'm not sure how. And today I was like, okay, I have nothing to vlog, like nothing, because nothing's going on today, because I'm literally home just looking for work. And she texted me today while I was on my way home, and I was like, yo, this is confirmation, like, just do this video today. I'm gonna just start out with my story, like, from Jump Street. So, I graduated from FAMU with my bachelor's in 2016, April 30th, 2016. So, fast forward a few months before graduation date, I had all these plans to go straight into a doctoral program in clinical psychology to get my degree, because you need an advanced degree in psychology to either do anything in it or to actually make a living for yourself. And that's just point blank period. There's no really escaping that unless you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And even if you do, you still need like credentials and all that. So alright, so I did put in like literally half bootied, I don't really curse, so I have, insert word here, like my applications to grad school. So I applied to UCLA, I applied to a whole bunch of schools, I don't even remember, but I know UCLA was like the top choice. Got my recommendation letters, took my GRE, got the bottom of the map scores, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna work on God's accord. And I was like trying to read signs, and everything I saw, or like everything that I was told, I was like, yes, this is a sign from God. And lo and behold, I really didn't know how to differentiate between my voice and his voice. And one thing is for certain, okay, God is not bad at communication. He knows how to communicate. And one thing I want to make a point of is his voice is not always audible. He communicates through like experiences, or he communicates through people. He communicates in a multitude of ways, and it's really like your relationship with him is how well you're going to be able to actually read those signs, or be able to like hear what he's saying to you. So clearly I can just say I wasn't in a line too well with his word, and too well with just him. And so I was misreading things, and I was like, oh, everything that popped up on my screen was UCLA, and lo and behold, it's just Google's analytics like going along with what I Google search, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's important to be able to differentiate between a sign and just like what's not a sign, you know, point blank period. So I was like, yeah, like this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to go straight into straight into a PhD program. Long story short, I sold myself short. I did put in one application, and that was to FAMU's community psychology program, and that was kind of like a guaranteed in. And I'm not saying that on any like sitting on my high horse type of thing, but it literally was because my professor was the director of the program, and he was like, listen, put in an application and we're good to go. So I did, got in, woohoo! Okay, wasn't completely excited about it, but I'm in grad school, I'm getting my master's, boom. All right, one step closer to a PhD. That was always, like, that was my focus, a PhD. I didn't want anything else, don't tell me nothing else. I'm not trying to get a job right out of my master's program. I'm going to a doctoral program because that's what I want to do. Cool. Got into my my master's program at Famu. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Changed my life. Literally changed my life. And I'll probably talk about that in another video. But just know, loved every bit of it. Alright, so now it's towards the end of the program. Now me and my girls, Jamaica, Alexis, shout out to y'all, we're putting in our applications again to PhD programs, and this is my second time doing this. So we're putting them in. This time I'm committed. I am committed. I take the GRE again, get the bottom of the map scores, okay? But I'm like, God, what's in your plan for me, I am here for it no matter what these people say. I'm thinking, like, don't let this score make you feel like you're basically out of luck. So boom, get the worst scores ever, still take the still go on the track to put in applications. I'm talking to people, like, yada yada yada, networking a little bit. At this point I am the research chair of the Association of Black Psychologists, and I get in touch with somebody and they're like helping me with my applications and da da da. Okay, boom. She puts one of the people that I get in contact with, she puts me in contact with somebody at her program. This girl is in a doctoral program already at the University of Cincinnati. All right, long story short, she puts me in contact with somebody who has research that I like, and that I'm like, yo, this is what it is. Like, I'm ready. Like, tell me how I need to market myself to get accepted by her into her program. Boom. Okay, cool. Long story short, I put in my application to University of Cincinnati, and amongst other schools, University of Cincinnati is the one and only school out of 6 applications that sends me an invite to an interview. Let me just tell you, if you know anything about grad school application process, you know it's grueling. You know, if you get an interview, it's literally a step, okay? And that's big, and it's almost like you got accepted, but not really. Because if they're wanting to see you, if they're wanting to interview you, they're just kind of like wanting to make sure, like, you're who you are, that you said you are on paper. Cool. So fast forward, I'm not even sure what month this is. I want to say March, but I'm probably lying. So I bought my ticket to Cincinnati, Ohio. First of all, ew. Okay, so, and woo, sorry. No shade, no tea, no shade to anybody who lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm just saying that it was a complete, total different environment from what I'm used to. I am used to Miami, Florida, palm trees, where the perfect place is for shade, and that's just how I feel. All right, buy my ticket to Cincinnati. I'm there, and I'm like, God, you know, please, if this is for you, if this is in your will, then everything will go as planned. All right, so go. I meet the lady who I'm literally in contact with for months now, and we go for an interview. There was only 2 people she interviewed, me and somebody else. If you know anything about the grad school application process, you know that you get interviewed by who's going to accept you. Basically, it's a professor in the program, and they say, this is the person I want, and this is the person, obviously, I don't want. And some people actually have more spots than others. She only had 1 spot available. So she's interviewing 2 people, 1 spot available. Okay. 1 spot that was available was either mine or the girl who was not there in Cincinnati. She was out of state, so she interviewed via Skype. So mind you, when you go to an interview, it's like a whole weekend of events, and you're like in the professors' homes, you're like drinking tea and crumpets, and like you're like, you know, mashing elbows with the higher ups and all this type of stuff, and they show you like around school and yada yada yada. It's really cute, fun, amazing, but it's all politics, and I'm just gonna be real with that. Long story short, everybody was like hyping me up, like, yeah girl, you got this. First of all, the other girl is an interview from Skype, so it's really kind of like not really like the most desirable interview. So if you did good, you did good and you got the spot. And I was like, okay, yes. And first of all, Cincinnati did not appeal to me, but I was like trying to make myself like, oh, this is home, yeah. So I go back to Tallahassee. Mind you, I'm still in school at this time. So you go to the interview, you go back home, all right, boom, and then you wait for a call or an email. Okay, that didn't come. It was like about 2 weeks now. Did not come through. The email did not come through. I was tore up from the floor up. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna email her. Boom. Email her. She said, I'm sorry, I accepted the other girl. So you mean to tell me I spent my good $300 on a flight to Cincinnati, Ohio? Anyways, so basically, long story short, I did not get accepted. And hindsight being 2020, I'm so happy because I really think I would have lost my mind in Cincinnati. The weather is so totally different from Miami, and mind you, in my bloodline, mental illness runs prominent. So if I went there, I probably would have really went into a really deep depression. I'm not even gonna fall short of that, and that's just what I feel now. So God works the way he works, okay, and it's for your good. So didn't get accepted. All right, cool. Now it's graduation time, you know what I'm saying? Graduation time. I have absolutely nothing lined up, because I was so certain that I was listening to God's voice. I was so certain that Cincinnati was gonna be my next home. I was so certain that grad school was it. And then here I am, May of 2018, home here, Miami, Florida, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is not what I wanted, but again, everything happens for a reason. So boom, cool. So now I am in the market for a job with my master's in psychology. So May comes, I go on some trips. I go to Puerto Rico, I go to DR, I go to Atlanta, I spent some time, I did some time, relax, release, boom. So it gets down to like now, May, June, July, August, about August, jobless. I'm back home for real, like I'm done traveling in August, right? August, September. Cool. So August, September, October, November, December, January. August to January, I did get a job, and shout out to my friend Mac, a law firm in Miami. I worked there for about, I want to say like 2 months or maybe, on and off. And I made a good little side money, and it was just literally a side job, just in the meantime, between time. So I worked there, and then I left because I got a job offer, 2 of them at the same time, as a matter of fact. And I went with the other, which is the behavioral therapist job. I also got an offer from which was like a research position, but it was in cancer and psychology. But I was like, you know what, it's research, put it on my resume, boom. Because still, the goal is PhD, and that's the goal still to this day. I declined Everything happens for a reason. And then I take on the behavioral therapist position. This is January, mind you. So I am now in a position, finally, from May to January of 2019. Get into the position, and that's when I announced to you guys I am now employed. I am working in a field that I want. The position, long story short, is a community-based therapist position. Basically meaning you drive to your client's home and or schools. I worked with kids, and I had a few adults as clients. The position was the most stressful thing I've ever experienced in my entire life outside of grad school. In addition to driving to each client's home, and there's a lot of companies out there, so let's just put that on the board. Like they're not the only company that's doing this, but community-based counseling, I couldn't handle it. I personally could not handle it. you had to drive to each of your clients' home for an hour a day or 2 hours, some required 2, and you had to have minimum of 26 hours. You had to meet 26 hours, meaning face-to-face contact, and you only got paid for that one contact. So that 1 hour you got paid the rate that you got paid. Cool. So if a client canceled on you, you didn't get paid. If your car broke down, you didn't get paid. Anything that happened, you didn't get paid because you did not see that client. Let me just say this. I loved the aspect of working with clients who I literally saw open up to me and who I saw change. And there's some clients out there that I love to this day, and I wish that I could still work with them, but it's because of the company that I cannot. I had to leave it, or else my health would have declined to an extreme degree. So now it's June like 26th or whatever, and I put in my 2 weeks. I leave the company, and I'm like, I have nothing lined up, and everybody's like, well, why'd you leave? It was that bad? It was that bad. So nothing lined up, and now here I am today, a year in May, June, July, 3 months from graduating from my master's in community psychology, jobless, and post-grad depression is freaking real. I always saw those videos, I always saw those posts, I always saw people say that, and I was like, that will never be me. Never say never. It was me. Like, my boyfriend experienced like me like breaking down, crying, literally had emotional breakdowns, just like because I could not deal with the amount of stress. And I'm about to, wow, am I about to cry? No, I'm not about to cry. I couldn't deal with the amount of stress, the just like feeling like I'm not, oof, whoa, what is it going on? Okay, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna be real. Feeling like I didn't completely, whoa, hello. Feeling like I failed myself and I failed my family, and because I was like, this is not something that I would go through, and because it, what the heck? Ooh! I just felt like I disappointed myself, and life just hit, like it really hit. And then meeting my boyfriend, it like hit even harder because he was like wanting to take care of me, and I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be able to do it for myself, like, but I can't. And we like literally clashed for a minute, and like it was bad. But yeah, I'm here. Like, it's July, almost my 25th birthday. My 25th birthday is on the 23rd. We're going to Mexico. I am unemployed, and like it's a lot. It's a lot when you feel like you didn't meet that goal. Like, I just imagined myself either moving out and finding a job somewhere in DC and just being successful and like working towards my doctorate in a position where I'm like doing research that I could put on my resume. None of that happened. None of that happened. And it's like, where do you go from here? Do you cry about it? I did a lot of crying. I still do crying. I was about to cry right now. But really and truthfully, like, this is like the biggest learning curve for me, is learning myself in this phase, is learning life in this phase, and learning that literally you can have money and be the most unhappy person, and you can not have money and be the happiest person on earth. It's literally about your perspective on life. To literally anybody who's in this period, who's experienced this or is experiencing this, I just want to say you are not alone. I am still struggling to find a job, so struggling to find like what I know what it is I want to do, but it's taking a lot of time. So what now? I'm still putting in applications. There's about 5,500 applications out there with my name on it. Why have you been seeing me go so hard on YouTube recently? Well, one thing's for certain, YouTube has been paying me once a month. Now how much? Like $100 and some change. And I'm very transparent with money. I just find it weird when people are weird with telling people how much they make. But anyways, it will literally be like $100 something check per month. And I would think to myself, that's because that's when I used to not really upload, and it would be like a periodic thing. And I'm like, okay, if I get like these checks, if I'm a little bit more consistent on YouTube, my checks will be bigger. So it's kind of how I'm really rocking this thing. I love being out here, but I also hate it. It's just like social media is just like this really dark but yet prosperous and positive place, and it's almost like you kind of have to be strong because people will take you down. So I do plan on being really adamant about this YouTube thing, and I'm manifesting that YouTube will be an avenue where I literally live out my purpose, which is to educate my people, and that's like African people. That's my passion, and that's what's changed my life, is just knowing myself and knowing how much culture plays a role in that. That also brings me to my other channel, me and my boyfriend's channel, Lit Conversations. It's not a couple channel, it's literally to talk about topics of that nature. I don't know what God has planned for me, and maybe that avenue is what's really my purpose, and maybe I can educate on that end, and him and I can be a voice in that realm. I don't know, but that's now. But basically that's the end of this video. So if you guys want to see me manifest my dreams, me manifest my purpose, please follow this, subscribe to my channel here, and also subscribe to Lit Conversations, which I'm so super excited about. And that's it for this video. I appreciate you guys so much for the support and always being there, because you guys are strangers and it's crazy, but you guys are literally like great. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and catch me in the next video.